everyone, and welcome to another insightful episode of Why We Are Carrying Out the STEM project. So, if you notice
of leaders that will push the frontiers of just like the innovative frontiers of this country forward. And yeah, it's always an honor to come here and talk about it. Astrophysics, astronautical engineering, astronomy, planetary biology, astrochemistry. You know what? The emergence of all these scientific fields have unriddled the umbrellas through which we can engage in the discussion of what is the origin of our species, for instance. So we're not just talking about the Big Bang. We can now employ proofs. We can employ pieces of evidence from emergent fields like astrobiology. What can you guys pick up? So I think that it's not just beautiful for us as a country to get engaged in, it's also beautiful for the globe. And Professor Scott Page said something very beautiful. I love it. He wrote a book, the title of the book is The Difference. He said, there's a chronic underrepresentation of, black people in critical STEM fields. And the rationale behind this is that, hey, we need more people who are not just about being smart or intelligent. They can bring forth new viewpoints. So like the conversational topics on the global stage. Cameroon is not participating in the conversational topics on the global stage. Why? Because we're not preparing young minds who have the ambition, who have the skills, the creativity, and the interest in pursuing these things. What we have done in our country is that we've brainwashed every single kid with talent. You go to every top class, you pick up 2 kids, and you ask them, the top 2 kids in the class, you ask them, hey, what do you want to do after high school? They're going to tell you one of 2 things. You know what? You mentioned it already. Medicine or engineering. That's a problem in our society. Such that, now, what's the obvious problem with this? The obvious problem with this is that from history, this is not how we grow as a nation. From history, this is not how we advance as a civilization. From history, we rely on the cross-pollination, the collaborative infusion of scientific knowledge across a wide spectrum of STEM fields. If you're going to invest in STEM, you cannot invest in just 2 fields. You have to pick and realize that, hey, STEM is a spectrum. For us to advance in the field of medicine, we need to invest in every one of the other fields that can become contributive sources to our growth and advancement in the STEM field. Good example, let me give you a good example, quick example. You know the most potent tool in the hands of a medical doctor, the nuclear magnetic resonance imager. Well, the nuclear is no longer there because people were uncomfortable with the word nuclear, stuff like that. Marie Curie and other people died because of nuclear radiation. So we're like, all right, okay, you know what? We're going to solve this problem by just changing the name. Not changing anything, just the name. So we called it the magnetic resonance imager. So if you go to the hospital, the doctor diagnoses you what's wrong with you by simply putting you in the magnetic resonance imager, watches everything that's wrong with you, distinguishes one tissue from your body from another, and is like able to spot what is wrong with you without a problem, without cutting you open. You know why that this is possible? Because an astrophysicist studying the universe learned how he could use electromagnetic radiations to distinguish one heavy nuclide from another. And it took a clever medical laboratory scientist to be like, hey, hold up. These guys are doing this work in astrophysics. What is modern need to adapt this technology that they are using to distinguish one atom, one heavy nuclide in the universe from another, to be able to distinguish one tissue in the human body from another? And thus was born the magnetic resonance imager. Cross-pollination of scientific fields. This is the blueprint of civilization. Are we doing that? No. So what do we do with the STEM? Let's take you a little beyond. Let's take young Cameroonian learners a little beyond. Last year there's something beautiful I did. I tested them on the concept of parallax. You know what parallax is? Now, viewers, if you guys you can try this at home. Take your finger like this. You can be an object. I put my finger like this. I close one eye. Okay, so I close my left eye. So I notice where my finger is. My finger is straightly aligned with your left eye. Now I'm going to open the other eye and then close now my right eye. This finger jumps position. This finger initially was aligned with your right eye. Now when I close the other eye, open the other eye, it moves. It seems to move in position. Now, if I move the position of my finger closer to me, all right, if I move it closer to me, then I do the same. The finger jumps across the entire face. Like it's now jumping across higher positions. You know what? This is how we're able to, this is the framework, this is the basis on which astronomers are able to predict how far stars are away from us. You hear something like Proxima Centauri b is 4 light years away from Earth. How did they able to come up with that? No, it's called parallax. But can young Cameroonians begin to think about these things? Can young Cameroonians begin to realize that, hey, you know what? I can use basic understanding of gravity and ask myself the question, what is your weight on a full moon? And that's a question that I asked them in the STEM last year. Can we ask them questions like, what is the color of the sun? Which, by the way, we've done a video about this. You can check it out on the channel. You'll see a video about what is the color of the sun. All of these things, what are we trying to do? We're trying to introduce them to new frontiers of career pathways, to new career pathways that are previously not infiltrated in the country. And we have a beautiful study about program in partnership with Open Dreams, so that when these students across the country take the STEM and they're inspired, hey, you know what? I've been dreaming. And this actually happened with Darren. Guys, this is a student who ranked first in 8 of the regions in the country. If you put all the regions together, he ranked the 7th across the entire country. He told me, sir, after taking the STEM, his review is there on a 40 days STEM values and vision. You can check it out. He told me, sir, you know what? After I took the STEM, I realized that for so long I've been sold the wrong dream in the country. I've always wanted to become a mechanical engineer, but I did not know that I was settling for less. I took the STEM, answered the question on time travel. Yes, we do that. We allow students to develop a mathematical model. We guide them. Can they use their basic trigonometry, the basic algebra, and then deduce a mathematical model to analyze the possibility of time travel and weigh in on that. Don't just sit at home and talk about exams and tests. No, talk about things that kids in America are also talking about. Is time travel possible? They have debates on this. Let's get Black Cameroonian kids having conversations about these things. That's the only way you're going to nurture their interest in these things. That's what we're doing. He told me, sir, since I was young, I was always attracted to the stars. I'd always loved to be there. But throughout the year, school has taught me that, hey, there are only 2 things possible for me because I'm very smart, I'm gifted, I'm talented. He was scoring 18 average throughout his high school life. I'm never get to do that. I never did it in my high school. I did it pretty much in my secondary school. 19 average and all of that. I was a top dude. But high school, I never did that. Kid is special. But he told me, hey, sir, one thing I've taken away from this STEM is that I need to become an astronautical engineer. And right now, he's involved with our study abroad program. He's applying to top schools. And in August, we're going to give you guys the big announcement. This is how we're changing the narratives for Cameroon. And this STEM project, where a kid can look through the mirror and realize that, hey, I'm not going to become this anymore. I'm going to become this. We're diversifying our talent pool through other fields in the STEM spectrum. And this is power. It's powerful, and I love it. I love what we're doing. I love the transformation stories we're recording. Thank you so much for asking that question, Rhoda.
Well, thank you so much for such intuitive insight. And like Sandrine said, the STEM actually inspires everyone, and everyone has the right to be inspired by the STEM. So I encourage everyone to take the STEM exam as we inspire you.